love that.
I went to Carl's. I went to Carlsbad.
I wouldn't have known anything
Carlsbad.
from Carlsbad. So that's good.
I know. That's why I didn't
Right,
tell you.
with
That's why I
that-
asked.
He's like, I don't think about Carlsbad.
Yeah, there's La Jolla and Carlsbad. Welcome to a special lead up to the Oscars episode of season 4 of 3.5 Gentlemen, the podcast where 3 of the 4 hosts provide a refined and intellectual analysis of movies from our private collections, while one of us tries desperately to keep up. We'll let you decide which host is which, but for now, my name is Sean, and with me, as always, are my co-hosts, Jeremiah.
Don't laugh, yo. This ain't fucking reality TV here.
Brandon.
Oh, it went out of order. Well, when you're facing a loaded gun, what's the difference?
And Eddie.
2 pills? Why don't you just give me a bottle and a scotch and a handle and blow my fucking head off?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. So with season 4, we're picking movies that we think that will create some good conversations. So some of these will be from our private collections, while others may be new releases in theaters and streaming. For this week and next week, we'll be looking at 2 relatively recent Best Picture winners for the Academy Awards. Additionally, throughout the season, we'll be including some new releases in theaters and streaming, as well as a TV season.
As with every review we give, our goal is to answer one simple question: how many drinks does it take to get through the film we just watched? Now, at the end of the podcast, we'll rate the movie based on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being a perfect film that you can watch stone cold sober, and 5 being sort of the film that makes you feel like your newly broken wrist is being smashed over and over again by a boot-wielding gangster.
Fuck yeah.
Wielding.
That's the
Wielding
It
gangster.
could be welding. It could be like
I hear a little crackle.
I hear smooth like
I hear
All
some
right.
crackle. I hear some crack. I hear some pop. What the fuck, man?
With that, what movie do we have shipping up to us tonight, gentlemen? Brandon, I love
that one.
I love that's my favorite one that you've done.
I appreciate
That's my
that.
favorite one so far.
Oh shit. Well, with that,
Whoa! Hey, having shipped up to Boston with Brandon, this is the perfect fucking
this is
entry to this story. Here we go.
Oh, shit. Well, if you haven't put it together yet, tonight we have Martin Scorsese's one and only Best Picture Oscar film, 2006's The Departed.
Tragedy.
It is tragedy. I mean, we're going to get to
Yeah,
how great
it's
a movie
fucking
this is.
tragedy.
No, we're going to talk about how great a movie this is, but is it his best one? I don't know. We'll talk about that. Anyway, The Departed follows a pair of undercover
I
operatives,
think
shut up,
so.
Eddie, in the streets of Boston. Billy is a Massachusetts state police officer who goes undercover to help take down one of Boston's most infamous bad guys, Costello. And Colin is a high-rising wonderkind in the state police, who has infiltrated the police to spy for Costello. This film really takes a look at how pretending to be someone else can destroy who you are, especially in a kill or be killed world where you don't know who to trust. This movie has a who's who cast that includes Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Martin Sheen, Mark Wahlberg, and Alec Baldwin, among a hell of a lot of others. Departed has an IMDb rating of a criminal 8.5 out of 10 and has a critic score of 91%
Wow.
and an audience score of 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I say criminal because I think it should be a lot higher. What do you guys think? Just real quick.
I think
8.5.
I think honestly 8.5 is probably where it's supposed to be given the graphic nature of the movie and given
It's pretty high. It's
I think
pretty
it should be
high,
higher.
guys.
I hear
so
what
if
Sean's
you're
saying.
objective looking hold on.
If it was
If
higher,
you're
it would be
objective-
Inception.
Yeah.
Right, and if you're objectively looking
I think it should.
but if you're objectively looking at this movie, there are a lot of people who think it's got gratuitous violence, a lot of blood,
And
a lot of
language.
unnecessariness that
Yeah.
we enjoy that other people don't necessarily.
true. Grandma doesn't necessarily wanna
With the
hear it.
problem with this exactly this generalized rating is that it takes into consideration everyone.
Yeah.
And like right now we're in this we have this societal thing where we go out onto the street and ask normal people their opinion. Well, sometimes normal people are stupid. They don't, their opinions are stupid. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Because they're a
Right.
sailor pig
Sean, you
and
did
they
really
lost
well.
a leg.
As with every movie that we review, as with every movie we review, we try to pair our selection with a drink that we feel reflects the film. So Ed, why do you keep changing this, Brandon? Why don't you just leave it the fucking way it is? Do you have to just refine it every week that you do
I
it?
do. I like keeping it fresh. I like keeping
God,
it fresh.
Every time.
Keep
every
you on your
time.
toes.
I can't memorize it. I can't
He likes
memorize
to
it.
Four
keep it
seasons.
on
You
our
shouldn't even need a
toes.
script. That's all I'm saying.
This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
As in every review, we try to pair our selection with a cocktail that we feel reflects that film. So, Ed, why don't you take us to the drink that we will be enjoying this evening?
Well done.
Brandon, I will, Sean. Brandon, who picked this movie?
This is our guy wearing a New York Yankees fucking baseball hat. Ed, this is you. Yeah.
Yeah, so remember that. You remember that. You put some fucking respect back in my name, Brandon, okay? So remember.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Listen to this fucking wannabe
Tell us
Southie
what the hell
fucking
we're
here
reading,
wearing
we're-
this fucking Yankee hat.
Yeah, just tell us what we're drinking.
We're having tonight? Okay.
We're just
Well, tonight, guys, the drink has kind of jumped around a little bit, but tonight we're going to keep it simple. So Brandon can have cranberry juice and Jeremy can have cranberry juice. Sean and I will have the double shot of Irish
You can't even fucking say it.
whiskey.
It's not risky.
Whiskey.
It'd be risky to do whiskey.
Wait, whiskey. Why do you say whiskey that way? Whiskey.
What are you talking about?
So we've had two drinks. So we have two drinks. We have cranberry juice, or we can have a double shot of Irish whiskey. So you can pair it up with your pour it in the dirty glass and turn up your Dropkick Murphy CD and throw it back. Brandon's drinking game that he likes with this is every time they say the word fuck, you take a half a shot for each time the
There you
word you
go.
hear fuck. Or
Yes,
a full shot if you're really not a
how
bitch
many
like
times do they
Brandon.
say fuck in the department?
238 times.
Yes, and you know what? This is the fourth most fuck-ridden Scorsese masterpiece.
please tell us the first three fuck-ridden.
Well, I can't really tell you I can't tell you two and three.
I'm going to say Casino. Casino's got to be
Casino
up
is a
there.
lot. Yeah,
Wolf
Casino's
of
a
Wall
lot,
Street
guys.
is number one with over 500. That's twice as many fucks as in this.
You know,
movie.
I've never seen that fucking movie.
I'm going
I've
to
never
say
seen Wolf of
criminally
Wall Street.
overrated. Criminally overrated.
Very
Oh,
overrated.
okay.
Very overrated.
I
Yes.
think overrated.
I mean, I love
That's
me some
fucking
All right,
Scorsese.
let's get into talking about this movie, because this movie kind of, for me at least, came out of the like the blue. I had no anticipation or expectation when I first in 2006 saw this movie. I remember looking at the cast going, God dang it, that's a great fucking cast. And I remember the trailer, and I want to say the trailer had a Rolling Stones song, Gimme Shelter, at the very beginning, and I think they actually used it also in the
Oh, they
beginning of
did.
the movie.
Because that is
And
one of my favorite songs.
it just kind of hit. It hit in a certain way. Like it's a modern gangster, and I'm not a gangster movie fan. I think I said that on the Godfather podcast. I'm not a shoot 'em up gangster movie kind of guy. Like, I've never seen Casino. I've never seen what's that other one?
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yeah, I will see those movies, but I have yet to see them.
You have seen, what was that one where they dress up as the
Some
girl?
Like It
We
Hot,
just
which
watched that.
actually is a
Mobster
gangster.
kind of
That's a
movie.
gangster
That's a gangster
movie. Yeah,
movie,
that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Spats is the villain. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sean, let's put it this way, man. You know that it's a Martin film when you hear Rolling Stones into his fucking film, because he does that in every fucking
Every
movie
movie.
with
Oh, does
Goodfellas.
he? Okay.
you
And his
know.
fucking
So
use
it's
of
almost kind of
music.
like, yo, I got a movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking put it in there, yo.
So
But it fits the narration with when Frank is talking about, man. It's fucking dope.
it
dude.
does. I just want to take it off real quick since we're talking about music. That number one, he loves the Rolling Stones. I mean, he did a documentary about the band. He's got a great classic rock sensibility to him. But the movie that I think that he's done that has music that helps to frame the entire movie. I think it's probably one of his most underwatched movies. But it's Bringing Out the Dead. Have you ever seen that one? With Nicolas Cage as an ambulance
That
driver.
1999 movie,
Oh,
man.
fuck, it
the,
is.
ambulance
It
movie.
is, yeah. It's gritty, and the use of music in that film is literally second to none. I highly recommend it for no other reason. Watch Nicolas Cage go crazy, which is just a normal thing for him. But fucking the music is just amazing. But yeah,
It's fun watching it going
it is.
crazy.
It
That's
is.
fucking dope.
So I just want to throw that out there.
well, I will say Martin Scorsese is not one of those directors that I seek out. I always find him violent and gory and bloody and gangster related, and I've never really embraced him. I think I saw Shutter Island, which I'm pretty sure was a Scorsese movie.
It is.
A couple of years ago, and that was fantastic. So this
Aviator?
is kind of
Yeah.
the first time that I've really jumped in and enjoyed Aviator for sure, but this is the first
This
time
is
I've
a
really jumped in and
true
enjoyed like a Martin
Scorsese.
Scorsese, a heavy
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what set off the movie right from the beginning is that Rolling Stones song and the dialogue by Jack Nicholson. So I'm one to hate
Narration.
narration at the beginning of a movie and a movie. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. This movie, it was fucking perfect. It was one of the best introductions to a movie I think I've seen in quite a long time.
Does he do that also with Casino too?
Yeah.
So like the narrating.
Well, I'll
in
tell you
the very
this much, bro.
beginning?
The Casino
Or
feels like a
Goodfellas?
documentary about fucking Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all narration. I mean, just by every single fucking lead actor in that movie. So
He's known for lead actors. He has to have a lead
but
actor, right?
he
So in all his
really
movies, he has a lead actor.
relies on that in Casino. Here, you get a 15-minute introduction of each character that we're going to be focusing on, dude. And what I love about this is that after we get the introduction to each character, we get the film title Departed, and it goes right into the fucking movie.
Yeah.
How fucking dope was that right there?
Brandon, do you like the character
I
development
do,
right away?
and Jeremiah, you stole the words and the thoughts right out of my head, because that is one of the things that stands out to me so much in this movie, and that is something I think a lot of directors don't have the balls to do, and that's to have an overextended introduction, right? And like it's almost like you're not expecting there to be a credit sequence. I mean, granted, just the title card, but he jumps us right into it. And we get to know the characters. We get to see who they are. We don't know exactly everything about them, but we get the sensibility of hey, this is how it's going to work. Well, I mean, one of my favorite shots in the entire film is the match cut between little Colin and then Matt Damon's Colin, and you just realize what's going on. You know that he's undercover immediately, even if you don't know anything about the movie.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, we get the shipping up to Boston, which I think is has to be one of the most amped up, pumped up, get you going songs out there, right? And we're thrust into this. We watch Leonardo DiCaprio's character in prison. We get to see everything that's going on. It's fucking brilliant. And Eddie, you asked, and you're absolutely right. The character development in that 15 minutes, it's almost like saying, you know, let's take a look at the first 15 minutes of Up. It's a condensed movie in and itself.
And Up is a good one, but it's almost like it's like a doctor giving you the chart of the patient.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's what's going on. This person is over here. This person over here. We're setting up the universe, and now go. Like everybody just fucking go. And then all of a sudden you've got characters that you think you know, and then they develop over the course of the movie to the point where it's like the twists. It's almost like he's so obvious with where the characters stand. Hey, there's a good guy in the police, or a bad guy in the police, and a good guy in Costello.
Yeah.
Costello's group, right? So there it is. That's all the twists you get. And then as you progress, it just fucking twists and turns, and it makes you feel anxiety. Anytime a movie makes me feel anxiety for a character, they're doing a good job, because it's like, oh fuck, he's getting caught. Oh god.
There's a rat on both sides, right? Yeah. So there's a mole and there's a rat. So it's just like
how many rats are there?
Like everything that it just makes you and you never think about, okay, if as a cop there's they take you from the graduation and they plug you in right away into a graduation day, and the next day that you were to plug you in as a rat so no one knows you. It makes you think like, shit, I almost feel like this is real life. Some of the stuff that they may really do out there for the police department or the FBI. Or Brandon,
I did. No, that's okay. No, you got it. And I just want to jump on what Sean's saying. And one of the things I know that I'm going to be really, really just like praising of this movie, because I think it's a fantastic movie. It has its faults, and I definitely am not. It's not a 0, so don't worry about it. But one thing, Sean, that you mentioned, and I think something we have to talk about.
I was terrified.
Yes, is the pacing. Right? The pacing and the balance of storytelling. And you can tell this is Scorsese. It's a seasoned director. It's a seasoned storyteller, but he never once overdoes Leonardo DiCaprio's side. He never overdoes Matt Damon's side. To me, it's this beautiful ping pong match of back and forth and back and forth. Sean, what do you think?
I'm telling you, I agree with you, but the linchpin is not the pacing. It's not the character development. It's not the acting of any of the characters except for Nicholson. If this movie does not have that character being who Nicholson is, and I don't know if you've heard Nicholson talk about this character at all. I don't know if you've heard him talk, but this like he would get the script, and the script would say like, man Costello stands over man on his knees with gun, and he would create like a joke. And he built a character around the script.
You're talking about when you shot someone
talking about how
on
he
the
fell,
beach,
yeah.
right? And you say, "Oh, the body fell."
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the line was this, guys. The line was this: is that he saw it, and then he said, "Let me actually add a few things here." And he goes, when he shoots the person, he goes, "Oh, she fell funny." Just weird fucking thing where it's just like that's so disturbing. It puts in your mind like how many times has he done this shit? And so I think that was just how he improvised most of the scenes. You're just like, fuck, this guy is just so fucking wild canned, man.
And his hands, the way his hands moved. And what I'm saying is there's only probably 5 actors in history who could have pulled off this role. And I think that Nicholson does something that is, I think it's a career-defining role. Even if he's had great roles in the past, this is a career-defining role.
It is.
Well, I think that's for a lot of actors in this movie, because even Mark Wahlberg, I mean, he's the only one who got nominated for this.
I don't
film,
like him, he was fantastic.
He fucking killed it in this movie, man. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Was he a supporting actor?
No, seriously. I mean, I think Leonardo DiCaprio gives the best performance in this fucking movie. I mean, he fucking owns it. You're fucking no. Come on,
Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was.
Jack Nicholson could be a little over more. Yes. I mean, too, listen.
Oh man,
like, hey, I'm going to be Jack Nicholson. You know, you see Leo just.
Matt Damon was great too, guys. I feel like he was like a goody two shoes. It pissed you off with. Like Mark's response to Matt Damon made you like, yeah, Mark, I agree with you. Fucking Matt Damon's pissing me off. I don't know why, but he's pissing me off.
You're literally on the edge for Leonardo DiCaprio's character now. Yeah, like you're literally like just fucking like, and he wears it on his sleeves in this movie, dude.
No, so I mean, 2 things, but one, jumping off Jeremiah, what you're saying is, I know I mentioned it earlier on, but the fucking beat down of his broken wrist, like, to me, that makes me squirm more than watching. It fucking hurts to watch. But no, you guys are gonna hate me, because where I find the movie isn't a 0 is because of 2 performances in which they're overacting: Jack Nicholson and Mark Wahlberg's character. They took me away, because I watched Jack Nicholson, and I've mentioned this before with Tom Cruise movies. When I sit there and I watch a movie and I'm like, there's Jack Nicholson acting, there's Tom Cruise acting, it just pulls me out of it completely. And there were times, not the whole movie, Sean, but there were times where Nicholson, like Jeremiah was saying, he just goes a little bit above and beyond. And then with Mark Wahlberg's character, I just wanted to tell him to shut the fuck up. I am sure. But it's not just like, shut the fuck up, Mark Wahlberg's character, because you're just that's your character. It's more like he's reaching so hard. You can just see him acting, and I was like, God damn it, just be more natural.
He's out of his depth.
Absolutely,
he's out of his depth.
Absolutely.
What about Jack Nicklaus's like Mr. Finch, the left hand man? Like Ray Winston.
Ray's a good fucking actor, man.
Ray Winston.
And what is
Winston?
Yeah,
he's good. I feel like
he's fantastic.
Scares the shit out of me. Like he makes it seem like he's right behind Jack. Like every time you see Leo trying to like get in, and he looks over to his right, he sees Ray just staring.
What's
at him.
What's really funny is this: that Ray Winston has been in a ton of movies. I mean, like he was in Indiana Jones 4. He was in.
Jeremiah. He was in the
made the movie a little bit. He was fun. He was fun to watch.
The Proposition, not the Proposal.
Yes,
the Proposition.
Was.
Oh, and he's fucking badass.
Dude.
Yeah,
he's one of those. Movie. He's one of those actors that when you give him a role, he kind of just like he pops. He's not a leading actor. But he pops. Like he just is so good.
He is.
Word around the campfire is that him and Jack Nicholson did not get along in this movie,
really,
for whatever fucking reason. So that's kind of funny that you don't see that on the screen.
Yeah.
But guys, is it true that Jack Nicholson's character Costello is based off the famous mobster guy Whitey Bulger? Because he was kind of working with the FBI. Is that correct?
Yeah, the informant. Yeah,
the informant.
So is it kind of like using that story setting for this movie right here? Because this is a remake of a movie.
Yeah, well, it's a remake of a Japanese movie, or is it Korean?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a when you say remake, there are remakes and then there are loose remakes, right? So there are those that shot for shot change, like Psycho. Gus Van Sant was a remake. That was a remake of Psycho. This, I don't think, was necessarily a remake for remake's sake. I think it was a reimagining. Because I heard an interview with Martin Scorsese, and he said he really wanted to put like a shine on it, like something that was very Scorsese, like very him.
Yeah, when he got assigned to this movie, I mean, he didn't even know that this was a remake, actually. And this is probably the very few or only movie that's ever been that won Best Picture as a fucking remake. So it's kind of it kind of stands on its own, man.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, so the whole time Frank is the rat, right, guys?
No, Frank's
Just making
not a-
sure.
What?
Like
Frank
he is
Frank-
the rat. He's the main rat.
No,
So
Frank
that's why he's
is
untouchable.
an informant.
He's an
yes.
informant, but I wouldn't say
He's
that.
the main rat. If you think about it, he's the
Not
main
say that
rat
at all.
of the whole. You look it up and say he's the main rat, and that's why he's so untouchable. No, look
No,
it up.
he
He is
You're
an informant
wrong.
for the
So-
FBI.
He is.
Yes.
But
He is
but he's not
definitely an
For the
informant.
FBI,
Hold on.
and he's untouchable.
Hold on. He is an informant for the FBI. However, he, in my opinion, uses his informancy to continue his criminal conspiracy and his criminal career. He's not trying to bring down his criminal career. I think the definition of a rat is someone inside an organization trying to bring it down from the inside.
I would agree.
I do believe that would be my definition of a rat.
Yeah, but he's selling out his own crew.
Well,
He's selling out his
I
own
don't
no,
think
crew.
it's
no, no.
wrong.
Only,
Yeah, as it turns
only
out, Frank
when
himself
Once
was a
again,
rat of the
once again,
for the FBI.
you're asking normal people. They're not going to do that analysis. That's why we're doing a podcast, Eddie, because we're refined and intellectual.
Yeah. And I'm thinking overall, it's just funny how he's trying to find who the rat is, and he's a fucking rat.
Yeah, I mean
himself.
that's the irony of the whole movie.
So my question is this, guys. Do you wish that they would have put the settings in the 1970s of this movie? Or do you like it that it's actually like, cell phones and all that shit, if you
hell
don't
yeah.
mind me asking?
Yeah, I think the newness of it really brings out. They did it with a couple of movies recently. Not recently, but they did American Gangster with
Christian Bale.
Was it Christian Bale? No, it
It was Christian
no, it
Bale.
wasn't. It was
Yes, it was Christian
It
Bale.
was Russell
Crowe.
Russell Crowe
and Denzel Washington.
and Denzel Washington.
And they said that was set in the 70s.
Oh, that was
And it
American
didn't-
Hustle,
I don't
sorry.
think it hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie did not hit as well as this movie because I think that what made this movie unique is it gave a fresh take on gangster movies. It wasn't a 70s movie. It was a fresh, just like when they did Sherlock, the show Sherlock, they took a character from the 1800s and brought him into 2012 London, and he texted and he used Google, and it was almost like a reimagining of a genre, and I think that's really important to
I think it would have been really cool if
it
it would have taken back in the 70s, because it would have actually been dirty, and it would have that really gritty vibe and everything like that, especially with the whole Frank Castillo being a mobster and everything.
But
So,
Scorsese's done that to death, right? Scorsese's done that. He's
And I'm
done
gonna
that.
go one
yeah, don't
better.
get me wrong, he
Yeah.
is. I mean, he did with the Irishman,
He did.
I'll
Yeah.
make it one better though, Jeremy. I liked that you got a modern take on corruption. That in the 70s, corruption was fucking obvious. Now they fucking in the 1970s, the 1940s, they champion. Look at Untouchables. The cops were like proud of being dirty. Now it's like it's layered upon layered upon layered, and it's so hard to see. There's so
many.
and nobody is really good, and nobody's really bad. They're all operating on like a spectrum, and that's just like fucking that to me made the movie really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you find out that there's multiple police state troopers. There's another one that he had no idea, or that it should have been a setup. But like, oh snap, the FBI agent, he's working with Costello, and then you have another person who's a police officer that's in Costello's game besides Leo.
Yeah. So I got a
possibly.
question. I want to throw it out to you guys because I have seen this movie multiple times, and every single time I see this movie, including last week when I watched it for this, I am just stumped out of my mind. So okay, so I'm taking you 3/4 of the way through the movie when kind of the shit goes down. Queenan dies, which I do want to talk about Queenan. I want to talk about Martin Sheen, but Queenan dies, and the Costello's guy gets shot and ends up dying on the couch, right? And he says, "Oh, I told you 314 instead of 344. I told you the wrong address." Is he working for the FBI? Is he a cop undercover, or why the fuck didn't he turn him in? I don't know, and it pisses me off that I don't know. What do you guys think?
I thought he was working for the FBI. I thought he was working with the FBI, and he was deep and
I thought he was-
undercover.
You're
Yeah.
talking about the guy who dies. I don't think it's FBI. I think he was another undercover police
Of what
officer.
department?
Yeah, because I feel like Queenan would have used him. Queenan would have used him
he's gonna
if,
use FBI?
Yeah.
so it just confused me because he admits, he tells DiCaprio, right? He tells Billy that I told you the wrong address and you showed up at the right address. And I knew that it was, he calls him out, but he says something like, I didn't tell. And then he dies. Like, to me, that's a weak part.
Didn't Quinion also in the very beginning say we have guys in? Like he made it seem like there's multiple than Leo. I remember watching this again, thinking like the way that Quinion made it sound like there was multiple than one besides Leo. And I had to rewatch it.
And
so
different
it makes me think
departments.
like,
Yeah,
and
there's
different
other ones
departments
besides.
don't talk to each other. I don't mean to keep throwing history at it, but when Bundy was going through his fucking murder spree, the counties didn't talk to each other. The fucking counties. Oh, hey, we have 3
Even
beheaded
the
girls.
Zodiac.
Oh, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
The counties wouldn't talk to each other. So to think that these different organizations were talking to each other about their undercover officers in the most dangerous gang in all of Boston, I don't think that that's unreasonable to think that FBI, CIA, who knows who had
That's a really good point.
there.
Now, wait, on the topic of Rat, which I guess is the whole movie, but did you guys think it was kind of silly, dumb, stupid, annoying that nobody realized that it was Billy, that it was DiCaprio's character that was the rat? Because all of a sudden, all the shit starts to happen. All the mention of a rat starts to happen as soon as Billy shows up. Is it just because Billy got in good with Costello and Costello believed him and liked him? Or what do you think it was?
Because Billy knew that he was a fucking working with the FBI.
You're also dealing with someone who thinks he's untouchable. Costello thinks he's fucking untouchable.
Very true.
Even if he gets caught, he's a fucking informant. He'll be fine.
So wait, Sean, do you think
that's the whole thing?
But do you think that Costello liked Billy? That respected Billy as
yeah, I do. I think that's why. I think that's why he kept him around.
Okay. Yeah.
They like this dad.
I also think that there is an element of he thinks not only is he an informant, but he's got Matt Damon on the inside. He thinks that he can legitimately protect himself
and
from
do
anything that arises, and do anything he wants.
So that was to say he doesn't give a shit if there's a rat on it. He just wants to know who it is so he can control the information. Because he was trying to set up Billy for a moment before Quinion died, right? There's new guys being in on here. So it was at first Billy almost gave himself up, but then he just happened to be like, it was weird how that whole scenario came about, but he was pretty much just about to be caught and he didn't.
What's so funny about that, dude, is Billy is that he wasn't as worried as being undercover, but the moment he found out that Costello was working for the FBI, he was fucking losing it. He's like, get me the fuck out of this undercover stage and shit.
Because he knows the FBI is going to they don't care. They're going to come in and clean slate.
I think that going along with you guys is I keep saying one of my favorite scenes. I mean, there's so many fucking scenes in this movie that are some of my favorite scenes, but one of the parts that sticks out to me, and I just think it's badass, is when you got Queenan and you got fucking Wahlberg's character, can't remember what his name is, Dingham or whatever his name is, and they're talking to Costello, and Costello is basically admits, right? I mean, you got this conversation happening between both sides, and you see that pride and that arrogance, like Sean, what you were talking about, that arrogance of Costello saying, I think he even says it like to see you try, or good luck, or I mean something that it's instigating and kind of pushing them. And the reality is they don't have anything that can stick, and I think that is such an interesting, hard thing to accept for a lot of people.
And that shows you how, I mean, honestly, Costello, he has the police department wrapped around his fingers, because Queenan and Marky Mark's character Dingham, they had to go so hardcore undercover that only them two knew the operator. Like, realistically, that's so risky, because like that means like that undercover person could instantly be by themselves real quickly, because the police department is not to be trusted. So that's really, in my eyes, is Costello is winning this war.
Well, it reminds me of Batman Dark Knight a little bit, where I want to say it was The Dark Knight, where Batman goes to Commissioner Gordon, and Commissioner Gordon, he says, we're two now. We're two people. Like, that's all we have is each other. And then, he said, if I didn't have to deal with corrupt cops, I would have nobody on the force. Like, that's the kind of concept that we're dealing with here, is that if you're not dealing with corruption, then it's like politics. There would be no one in fucking politics. It's all corrupt. It's all mangled together.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that it's all corrupt because when you see Matt Damon actually like calling these fucking like, calls and just like, oh yeah, just go and take this person down.
It's
just
Queen.
like, yo, how are you pulling this shit? How is this thing blowing up your fucking face and you're not getting fucking dinged for anything?
Mhm.
Then you know it's all fucking corrupt and shit, dude.
Oh, it's all, yeah. And it's we're drawing a line between fiction and reality, but you have to admit that there's something of life in that's imitating art here, right? There's something here that they're driving off of. So that means that some element of this corruption is still present in what we're doing now. And one of the questions that I ask myself that these kind of movies make me wonder about is if the police are committing criminal acts to get criminals, what's the difference between the police and the criminals? And I'm not bashing on police. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying. I'm just saying
it pretty much asks the question. I mean, if you have a gun in your face,
What's the difference? What's the
What's
difference?
the difference?
Yeah.
The lion can only take down the lion. A
See,
sheep
but that's
can't
not
take
true
down the
because
lion.
if you look at Elliot Ness, when Elliot Ness went after,
Tortoise beat the hare.
and I know we're talking about, I know we're talking about decades ago, well, actually a century ago now. But when Elliot Ness took down Al Capone, his moniker was, let's do some good. Let's go face him. And it was, Sean Connery's character who brought him in. They send one of yours to the
morgue.
Yeah, we sent
Yeah.
3, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. He fought fire with fire, but then realized that the only way to get Capone was to get smarter than Capone, to attack his taxes. And I think that type of ruthlessness doesn't really work. Cops against cops, criminals against criminals. It just doesn't work like that anymore.
Well, that's what happened with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, right? I mean, he could have just walked away, got his fucking like identity back and whatnot. But when he found out that Matt Damon was the fucking rat and everything, I mean, he decided to do a citizen's arrest, so to say, and just get this fucking guy. And
That's where he fucked up there. That's where he fucked up there at that point. He should have played it a little bit longer.
have you guys heard about the X Factor in this fucking movie?
Yes. I think it's badass.
No.
It's fucking great. So if you rewatch this movie, okay,
They're everywhere.
you should watch it because there's a X that's foreshadowing someone's death in every scene when a person's about to die. It's so fucking crazy, dude. So if you watch it, you will literally see an X.
There is a red
somewhere
X
in the
by
scene.
Leonardo DiCaprio's head in the elevator.
Yes, you see it. But I think it was like something like a movie from the 1930s that Martin wanted to kind of like, pay a homage to and everything like that. But if you see it and watch it again, folks, you'll literally see everyone that's in the movie who is about to actually get like, assassinated or killed or something like that. There's an X near it. So there's this whole kind of X factor foreshadowing someone's death.
So what I do want to say is having two of my least favorite actors in this movie, being Matt
Watch your
Damon and
So if you had to pick a movie for Matt Damon, this is probably
what
one
I
of
was
his
going
better
to say
movies.
is that this character is the one he should play all the time. The little bullshit character. Anytime he gets sincere and tries to be like badass, I think he fails. But that's just my opinion. I
Jason
just don't
Bourne.
think he's
He
a
is
good actor.
Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne's pretty good.
Oh, those movies are trash. You can't even watch them.
God.
Good. I won't
Yeah,
say
Good Will
Will
Hunting, but he was the same
The
kind
Martian,
of
he was
snotty
really fucking
character.
good in that, dude.
And I haven't seen that.
We need to talk about the love story a little bit.
Okay.
Ah.
We got with Jared. We
Love
got
story.
it.
What's the
That's
odds of that
right, Ed.
happening?
It's
What's
so
the odds of that
fucking bad.
happening? Of having the same therapist? There's only one therapist
That
in Boston.
therapist is probably one of the worst fucking person that do their job right and shit, dude. That's probably one of the weakest parts of the fucking
It
movie
is.
for me, dude.
It is. And that's why I want to talk about it. Eddie, you hit the fucking nail on the head because that pissed me off more than ever when I rewatched it for this.
Yeah.
And that was a weak.
Except for you're
ass-
wrong.
Okay, shut up. That was a weak spot. And what makes it even
Can I
weaker.
tell you why?
No, hold on.
Can I tell you
No,
why?
hold on. But what makes it even weaker is the fact that she gets pregnant with Leo's kid because you know that it's fucking Leo's kid.
I agree with you 100% on that, dude. Yeah.
So I don't disagree with you, but I will say the reason they all have the same therapist is because it is not uncommon for each department of the government to have one therapist that all the fucking people go to. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon that they would all be seeing the same fucking person.
So technically, though, Leo, why
It's
would
court
Leo
ordered.
have that same therapist?
Leo was court ordered,
Yeah, okay.
and where do you think Quinnan sent him? To the fucking police person, the one who could deal with the police issues, because this person.
I wish
Yeah,
they would
but
have said
I-
that. I wish they would have said that because overall, you get guessing.
I
That's
am,
what
and I'm not
happened.
because you're talking about a very small subset of psychiatrists and psychologists who could deal with undercover police because they would go kill the fucking therapist. All the gangsters would kill the therapist. But the whole idea is a therapist is, I mean, if you look at Sopranos, if you look at all these different gangster type movies, right? You've got the police going to the same fucking person. Can we just mention that Vera Farmiga has not aged in like 40 years because she looks fucking incredible.
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah,
today,
she's a fucking great actress. She's a great actress. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't like the story in this fucking movie.
Absolutely.
She played Mama Bates in Bates Motel, and she was fucking creepy as shit in that show. Go ahead, Jeremy. Sorry.
So, you mentioned something about like he was court ordered. Was it court ordered by Martin Sheen's character to go to this?
Probably have to be.
So let me ask you something on that part.
It was part of his parole.
Okay.
It was part of his parole, which makes me think like it just only
no. You just threw something to the wall, and I'm like, holy shit! I never thought about this. But do you think he set that thing up for him to actually get to go to Madeline's profession? So he can actually get more information, maybe with Matt Damon and shit.
Well,
because that's
he
a fucking.
Know that's Matt Damon.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Everybody,
Matt Damon.
yeah, bro. Everyone's 3 steps ahead in this fucking movie, dude. Come on, you should know that, dude.
No.
How would who?
Marky
Mark
knew. Marky Mark knew that Marky Mark knew that what's his name was dirty.
Yes.
No, he only knew.
Of course he knew.
No.
If I
he only
killed
knew
him at the
Not
end.
to the very end.
And that's because
not to the very
Leonardo
end.
DiCaprio's character sent the tapes to Marky Mark. That's what it was. So no, I see what you're saying, Jared.
So my
but I don't
second
think
question to that was Marky Mark Digman. Was he a rat? Was he working for the FBI?
No.
Was he getting for revenge?
No, he was revenge for Queenan because Queenan and him were bros.
No. He's Kevin Costner in Untouchables.
One at a time. You guys are all like, blah, 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 blah. One at a time.
He's a fucking cleaner. He's cleaning up the mess. He's protecting Quentin. He's protecting his department. He's cleaning up the mess of what happened around what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's fucking revenge. 100% revenge. He loved Queenan. Queenan and him were buddies. They were bros, and he got Queenan's back.
Okay, Eddie.
He's vengeance.
But why would he use this fucking silencer?
He's in a freaking
because he was cleaning the scene.
Because he's smart. First off, why would he not use a silencer? He has a job tomorrow. He still needs to go to work the next day.
He doesn't work there anymore. Remember that, dude.
He's on leave.
He does. He only gets suspended for 2 weeks. He's on leave, so he needs to make it look
like
he doesn't.
There's a theory out there that he's an FBI informant, dude. There's a theory that he works for the FBI.
Okay, so I can understand the theory, but he's at least a cleaner because fucking Matt Damon walks in on plastic. If he's a police officer, he's going to shoot Matt Damon. They're going to go through Matt Damon is never going to be seen or heard from again. That motherfucker is gone forever. He's winding up in the Hudson River.
Okay, is he a rat then? Does he work for the mafia?
No, he's a cleaner. Mark's a cleaner. He went in and cleaned the situation up.
No, he
got rid of all the shit.
Officer. No, he was good because he walks out. He shoots. He walks out.
No, he's still a good person.
But he's leaving the body.
No, he didn't. No, Brandon, why would he put plastic down?
He didn't have plastic down. He had plastic on his foot. He had little booty slippers.
Why would you want me? Why you put plastic down? He didn't have plastic. He had plastic on his feet.
Yeah, he had booty slippers. He only had
booty slippers.
Booty slippers.
He had plastic down.
Booty.
I love it.
Like I'm saying, like I'm trying to say is he's trying to go to work tomorrow on the Tuesday after he gets done cleaning up
in the same way that Sean's talking about cleaning.
Matt Damon's character.
All right, now I gotta rewatch it because I don't remember. I thought he had plastic on the walls.
Did anyone else have a feeling that Matt Damon, like you saw when Matt Damon was walking into his room, that very last scene, and two of the ladies were looking at him very weirdly. I mean, almost seemed like they. Like, hey, something's in your room. Like,
I think it's because Vera Farmiga's character left him, and it disrupted this image that he had portrayed. And so my guess is that she made kind of a stink about it, and other people now look down on him as being not the quality guy that he was kept trying to show everybody that he was.
Okay, but maybe it's because, people talk through kind of the underground and shit like that, and where we got around that, he's a mole, he's a rat and shit like that, and that people knew that this guy was going to get his
These are two little old ladies, man. I don't know about that.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you, Jeremiah. Word about a rat gets around.
Yeah. Okay, last question here, guys. So this was the best picture of 2006, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, would you change a best picture of other movies that did not get nominated for this year.
I'm looking up what movies were nominated.
Other movies. Tell me.
The Prestige came out this year,
Oh fuck.
No.
same year.
No.
Children of Men came
Which
out
one's
the
better?
same year.
Nope.
No.
You haven't seen it.
Oh, and the best one, The Fountain.
No, here's the reality.
This was the best. This was obviously the best.
The Prestige is fucking amazing, fucking fantastic movie. This is cinema. This is acting and directing and filmmaking at its highest level. It deserved to win.
I agree, but
I
don't
agree.
disparage the Prestige.
agree.
I think
I'm
the
not.
Prestige is one of the
Well,
greatest
remember-
movies ever made.
Oh, hey,
So,
everybody
I mean,
listening, we're going to be talking
But
about
this-
that later this season.
But this movie's better than that one.
Now, see, here's my problem, Eddie. When you say it's better than, they're different. They're different genres. They're different. The purpose of the movie is different. That's
Okay.
like saying Toy Story is better than or less good than this movie. It's a completely different.
Oh, okay. So then Casablanca is this better than Casablanca? Or is
Casablanca is better than this. Casablanca is the best movie of all time.
I agree.
No,
Why?
because
Why?
technically,
Why?
acting, music, innovation.
Oh, Sean, you just fucking
You
stabbed
just
yourself.
No.
stumbled over the same reason.
No, I didn't.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
we're
you.
not
Yes, you
trying
did.
to.
You
Excuse
can't
me.
have
I
cake and eat it
can
too.
because the mandate of this podcast is how good the movie is based on a scale of 0 to 5. If I was going to go the best movie of all time, that's a completely different characterization, completely different analysis that I'm going to put the movie through. If I was putting analysis of this movie through greatest movie of all time, it wouldn't even make the fucking top 150.
This movie's better than The Prestige. That's all I got it as. And you said, oh no, it's all this. And I'm saying, well, that's the same thing goes with this and.
If you
and
roll
Lawrence
back
of
the tape,
Arabia.
I would say just understand they're two different genres, and I don't think you could say Prestige, in the context of our podcast, is necessarily better or worse than this movie because it's a completely different type of movie.
Same thing with Casablanca and Lawrence of Arabia.
No, because the AFI's
with
mandate
Departed.
is not a scale.
Oh,
That's what you just said.
AFI mandate. No, I'm saying the same thing. You're holding AFI.
I think we have a
too high, I'm
feature
saying.
zero in this movie here, guys. And that brings us to the end of our review. Now it's time on the podcast where each of the hosts provides a score on the following scale. Eddie, can you provide the score, please?
0, the perfect movie. You don't need shit to enjoy it. 1, a feel-good first cocktail. 2, a happy buzz. 3, on the Uber or lifting home. 4, rough morning walk of shame. 5, blackout, shit-faced, spring break drunk. Gentlemen, who
I'll go
would
first.
like to go first?
So for me, this movie was one of the highlights of 2006, if not highlights of this genre of movie, which is I would say is like the undercover cop kind of corruption-y movie. I'm really looking forward to Heat. I haven't told anyone that I have not seen that movie yet.
Me neither.
I'm really looking forward to a couple other movies that we're doing. But to me, this one was fresh and different, and I loved the actors who were in it predominantly. I did not start liking Mark Wahlberg until he did The Fighter, which was several years later, and I still don't like Matt Damon that much. But it had my boy Martin Sheen, which I think he's fantastic. And truth be told, I think the acting in this movie was absolutely fantastic. I think Martin Scorsese knows how to pace a movie better than anyone else, and the violence, which I'm not a fan of, was just enough where it wasn't grotesque and disgusting, and I was not off put by the movie. My mom does not. I don't think she cares for this movie because everyone dies at the end. That one doesn't bother me. The fact that literally almost everyone dies, it doesn't bother me because everyone was kind of a shitty person, except for Leo. I wish Leo would have survived. Anyway, that being said, I'm gonna give this movie a 1. I think I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really great film, and I'm gonna give it a solid first cocktail. Feel good first cocktail.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to take it because Sean threw it to me visually. So here's the deal.
Yes, Brandon.
Yes, thank you so much. So you're absolutely right, Sean. I mean, I could basically say everything that Sean said. I think that you're right. This is a perfectly paced film. It is an expert filmmaker that created this one. This is not, something that happens just on happenstance. I think this is somebody who has a craft and has a knowledge and has a vision, and then creates that vision, and then is able to inspire other people to work on the film, the actors to act, to see that vision acted out. Things we didn't even talk about it, really at all. But you're right. I remember sitting in the theater, and as soon as that elevator door opened up and Leo's head splits open, like that was one of the biggest shocks I think ever. I mean, for me at least, I didn't see that one coming. It hit me so off guard. It made me walk out of the theater feeling just kind of empty. But man, that was a great empty feeling. And so this is a movie that doesn't apologize about anything it does. It just goes out and says, this is the movie that I am. Like it or don't like it, here it is. And Sean, going back to what you said at the very beginning with that 8.5 IMDb rating, you're right. It's not the movie for everybody, but it's a movie that if we're looking at, expertly crafted films, this has got to be up there with, some of the very, very best out there. My problem is really 3 different points. Jack Nicholson at times, the one part that kind of keeps going to mind is when he's pretending to be a rat and he's drawing the little pictures. He was showing his teeth. Like, to me, it's like that's just Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson. Shut the fuck up and just stop. Mark Wahlberg's character, just the way he's written, not even Marky Mark's presentation of it, but just the over the topness. Like, don't be such an asshole dick. I get what you're trying to do, but just it didn't land, and it just seems so out of place, especially when you got Queenan, who is genuinely an amazing character. And then the third part is the whole pregnancy through Leo's character, which helps kind of make him live on and try to, make up for the fact that he dies in the end. I hate movies that do that. It's a cheap little plot twist.
It's tawdry.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And it just pissed me off. That said, if we're going to take the whole rest of the 2.5 hours and take out, really those 3 minutes of frustration for me, this is a damn good movie. I finished watching it, looked over at Amanda, and I said, God, this is so much better than I remember it. And for that, it's not a perfect film, but it is a damn great one. You should go see it if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, watch it again. I'm giving this a 0.6. It is not quite a 1, but it's also not quite a 0.5 because it's got a couple other things. And Jer, I did a 0.6 just for you, buddy, just so you know. I was going to do 0.6 too, but I'm going to go with a 0.6. So I'm going to go with Ed. Ed, you're next. You had your hand up, so I'm going to go 0.6, and Ed's going to tell us what he's got.
So I liked everything you guys are saying. So when we were picking movies, I'm gonna say Martin's movies. He's done a lot of movies, and this was one of my favorite movies he's put together. I feel like this was. I don't think he knew it was going to be holding down to how it holds down now to this time. I think it's our modern day age of a gangster movie. I think it holds up really well with the age. I mean, it's 2006. For some reason, I thought it was that long ago. And I'm like, wow, 2006, like that's actually some time ago now. That's almost coming up on 20 years in 3 years from now. And I was just like, it still holds up, though, compared to some of the other recent movies out there that just drops real fast with gangster movies. It just puts a nice little twist of this, theme of a gangster in this modern day and age. It was a great project. And I don't think Martin was going to think that was going to happen in the long run for this movie. I think this movie should honestly be on the top of 100 of AFI. I don't think it gets enough credit. Anyone could watch it. It has a little blood to it. It has a little violence to it. But I mean, like a lot of movies have that on. I feel like this movie deserves to be in the top AFI for the top 100. I honestly
it's a 0.
love this movie, and this is one of them.
Well, so all the movies on the AFI should be a 0. Like that's they should be the epitome of zeros.
Vertigo shouldn't be. No, Vertigo's not, and Rocky's not, and Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, so basically, you don't believe that any movie is a 0. We have had this conversation, and that's fine. And
yeah, but it should be in the AFI. I'm talking, Sean. You had your chance. It's definitely in the top 100 movies. It's on AFI. It's better than a lot of other movies that are fucking on there, like Vertigo. I'm saying. I'm not just gonna throw that out there. So honestly, though, Departed for me is I like Brandon Store, but I'm gonna go around. It's a shot for me. This movie's a shot for me. It's a 0.5. I think it's one of the better movies that we've done this season.
When you take those scores and combine by 4,
we're missing somebody.
We still need Jeremiah.
It's all right. You're gonna yawn. You guys are not gonna pay attention. So I'm
gonna pay attention. I'm just so frustrated with the fact that there's not a 0. It doesn't exist, even though he's given zeros to movies. Anyway, go ahead, Jeremiah. Oh no, Eddie, Eddie, you can't talk. Jeremiah's time. Eddie, stop talking.
Neither you. Stop talking. Stop talking.
I just want to give my score, guys.
Sorry, Jeremiah. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Jeremiah, go.
Okay, just hands down, this movie represents some of the best actors of our generations. It does. This is like the dream team of 1992 of the basketball season. Like,
well said.
Everyone's on their fucking A game in this fucking movie, and it's great to watch this, man. It's a great crime thriller of a movie. I mean, I think it's one of those cool cat mouse type of a movie. It's like Spy versus Spy, has that fucking vibe to it, and I love it. The only problem about this movie, man, is the love triangle. it feels out of fucking place in this movie. It is what it is on
You're
that
here.
shit. And that's just how I feel of that part. If I can remove that,
Agreed.
it's a 0, guys. But honestly, I mean, Martin got an award for this movie. I don't think this is his best film. I think Goodfellas is his fucking masterpiece. That's my opinion. But this was cool to watch, man. It was really to see everybody kind of in their fucking prime in this movie, man. So this is a 1.25 for me, guys. I just wish that fucking love triangle part was just out of the movie. It just didn't fit the fucking movie, man. So that's my score. Simple as that.
I'd love to see Goodfellas. I think that'd be an interesting one to do. All right, when we combine those scores and divide by 4, what does The Departed get an average rating of?
So it's a 0.8375. It's 0.8375.
All right, and so Jeremy, where does that put us on the list of movies
0.8375.
we have reviewed so far?
Because of Brandon's amazing fucking 0.6,
welcome.
it fucking actually puts a score by itself.
That's literally all I'm trying to do right now.
Okay,
It's by itself on its list as number 12.
and what's better than it?
It's right between The Shining and The Breakfast Club.
So The Shining is better than or worse than?
Yes, The Shining is better than.
And what else? What's give us a couple movies above
Okay.
that?
So what's better than this film is The Shining, Gladiator, Remember the Titans, No Way Home, Spider-Man, Joker, Pulp Fiction,
I mean-
The Dark Knight. There you go.
Okay, so
minus
what's
Joker.
worse?
Minus Joker, I'd agree.
What's worse is Jaws, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Alien, American Graffiti, Signs, Inglourious Bastards.
You know,
That's
honestly,
tough.
Sean,
That's
I'm going to pull a
tough.
Sean and
Jaws is
say
that
I
low?
kind of think that
I
fits
feel
there.
Jaws can we flip
Yeah,
Joker and
that's a good
Jaws?
call.
Just like everyone vote on that. 'Cause I feel like they
That's a
should
good
both
idea.
just
We
be
should have an
you guys-
episode where we should actually change a score for one of our films or one film that we think that should be better in our list.
like I feel like Jaws should be higher and Joker should be like they just need to flip.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of agreeing with Brandon. It's a great movie, but it's not better than Jaws. I'm sorry, it's not better
The
than
problem is that
Jaws.
Jaws is so revolutionary, and this movie is not revolutionary. It's not anything against The Departed,
Right.
but you got to give credit where Jaws' credits due. If that makes sense.
Well, I mean, if you look at the IMDb ratings and whatnot, I mean, you know, The Departed is rated higher than Jaws. So
All
I
right.
mean, it just
You know,
has this
what
little
that
thing.
means
I
is
understand
that
where you're
we've done a
coming
damn
from.
good job.
I think The Departed. I like the score. I just think Jaws should be higher on our list. I like where The Departed's at. I
Yeah.
think Jaws.
Let me put it this way, I
Departed
like Jaws better.
is number 39 on the IMDb list of the top 250 movies of all time.
All right.
So
Cool.
I mean, it's kind of right there. I mean, I agree with you, Sean. I think Jaws is a fucking iconic film and shit. I think we should have one episode in our season where we actually kind of make a case of why that movie should actually get a different, higher rating. Yeah, that would be.
score. Point Break.
No, you sold your soul on that one, bro.
Yeah,
That's your fault.
that was your movie.
There's no. It's you talking me to. Not all movies are great. All right, it's a great movie in my collection.
Well,
but it's not. a good
it's
movie.
movies that you
Okay.
like versus movies that are great, and those can be two different things. I can believe
Yeah.
that Armageddon is one of the greatest films ever made, and think that it's a piece of shit at the same time. It's okay.
I watched The Rock
that's
the other day,
great.
and I was trying to. It's great, but then I started
Yeah,
judging it because of doing this show. I started judging, like, oh god, oh no, oh no.
All right. If you enjoyed our review or a fan of the podcast, we ask you please subscribe wherever you're listening. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. You can also find us on Instagram at the Gentleman Podcast. The dot means a lot. You can visit our website at thegentlemanpodcast.com, or you can reach out to us by email at hosts with an SHOSTS at thegentlemanpodcast.com. We thank you so much for listening. And Jeremy, what do we have coming up here?
I believe we're going to be actually reviewing some of the new movies that will be coming out or that are currently nominated for Best Picture this year, right? Or are we
we
going to
got
actually
one
go
more.
into...
No, we got Parasite coming to you, so be ready for it.
So
Parasite.
Parasite.
All right.
Yeah, Parasite.
All right.
Can't wait.
Cheers, gentlemen, and we'll see you next week.
Time to get out of the fucking...